Welcome back to this series on building your set model in ModelSpace and extracting sheet layers to publish drawings from it. Let's move on, shall we? So at our last video, I introduced the notion that Vectorworks is going to default to the very bottom layer of the drawing as its placement for extruding work from a two-dimensional drawing. We can come over here to the 3D modeling tools, and you'll see that in the 3D modeling tools there is a select working plane tool. And if I select that working plane tool, right, then I can hover over my drawing and I can choose a plane upon which to build. So in this case, I think I'd like to build a little step up to my platform. So I'm going to select my show deck. I'm going to say that is my working plane. And we can see up here in the navigation ribbon that it is we're in a working plane. And I'm going to grab a rectangle tool, and I'm going to extrude something. What was it? 16 feet. I'm going to draw 16 feet, and I accidentally made that 2'6". Well, we can always just change that. We'll make that 1 foot, not from its center point, but from its back point. We'll make that 1 foot 0 inches deep. Okay, and now I want to extrude that 6 inches. Nice 6-inch step difference between the show deck and my 1 foot high platform here. And if I come up here to my view menu and pull a right isometric view, I can check in and see that it did just that. All right. Now let's go ahead and put in a doorway, right? This is a solid flat right now, but what I'd really like to do is knock out a doorway in it. Let's start first with an archway. Well, I don't have to draw only in plan. In this case, I'm going to draw in a front view. Ignore all of the stuff that's in the seating layer. In fact, I think I'll just turn that seating layer off. That'll be a lot easier to view then. And I'm going to make a 3 foot by 7 foot hole in this, or maybe 3 foot by 6 foot 8. And so remembering that I can draw in whatever plane I want, I'm going to use my working plane tool, settle in over this flat, click on it to select that working plane. Then I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. I'm going to pull and build a unit that is, what did I say, 3 feet tab, 6 feet 8 inches tab. All right, so I've got this two-dimensional thing laying on the front face, if you will, of my flat. And I can locate that by dragging it around or moving it with my move tool. But what I want to do next is I want to extrude it. Remember, extruding is going to move it up towards the screen or up towards my face. In this case, I want to then give it a negative 3-inch extrusion to put it in the same space as my flat. I'm going to click OK. Let's take a look at how this looks in the world of that. Now, what I'm going to do next is a really powerful tool that I use all the time in Vectorworks ModelSpace. X back to my Select tool, and I'm going to connect both my flats and my by holding down the Shift key, select both of these things. And then I'm going to try to knock out a hole where this particular doorway is. And I can do that in whatever view I want. This will make it a little bit more obvious as I work my way through it. So I'm going to come up here to Model, the Model tab. Click Model. And for some reason it's not letting me subtract solids. And I think it has to do with these two objects being conjoined. So I've managed to disconnect those two objects. I'll show you a grouping tool in a later video. I'm not quite sure how I accidentally did that, but here we go on. And I'm going to now use I've selected both of these elements. I'm going to go ahead and subtract solids. Of course, we can add solids too, and that's pretty useful. So I'm going to subtract solids. And it says, okay, do you want to subtract, what do you want to subtract from? And do you want to retain your subtracting objects? I want to knock a hole in this thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and subtract this doorway space or this arch space, but I don't want to retain the subtracting object. There are reasons why you might want to do that. Ha! That was fun. The red actually indicates the object that something is being subtracted from, and I had reversed that in my mind. So let's try this again. Subtract solids. And then we are going to swap the objects by clicking this right button in order to select the correct object that it is being subtracted from. Click OK, and now I've got a hole in my flat. Very good, Brian. All right, we want to put a doorway in here. So I'm going to go back to Plan View. I'm going to select the top of the platform as my working plane. Zoom in a little bit. I'm going to change my width on, or separation on my double line tool to 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to make my door right in the place that it's going to want to be. And you'll remember that was 6 feet 8 inches, so I'm going to extrude it 6 feet 8 inches. Whoops, 2 inch signs. Well, and I'll show you what will happen when I do that. Nothing! So I have to get rid of one of the inch signs. I'll click OK, and there we go. We've got a doorway. But wait, there's more. In order to show a door on a plan view, we want to show it as open. So I'm going to show you a new tool, the Rotate tool right here, that will allow me to open that door. I'm going to click on that Rotate tool, bring it over here, click at the pivot point, extend my cursor along the back of the door, click again, and then I'm just going to open that door to a fixed angle. It's going to snap into 30 degrees because my snap tool is turned on that way, and voila, I have my right isometric view of my door open in space. So now you've learned about drawing on a selected plane and building a door using your modeling tool. We could do the same thing on this flat over here. You could knock a window in that by using the same strategy. Maybe you'll do that for practice, but I'm going to conclude this lesson right now. Thank you.